Hi there, I'm Fox 13 meteorologist Nash Rhodes with myfoxhurricane.com, and I've got updates on what's been happening in the tropics. The past 2 weeks, as we previously mentioned, have been very inactive. We have seen a lot of Saharan dust continue to smother large sections of the Atlantic, Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean. Also seeing a lot of the dust overhead right now. That's ushering in drier air, which is kind of suppressing any tropical activity. We have seen no named storms or hurricanes in quite some time, and I think that pattern will likely hold over the next week, as the National Hurricane Center also agreeing, coming out with a statement saying that over the next 7 days, they're also not anticipating any new named storms to form, although we are keeping an eye on a few weak tropical waves that are attempting to traverse across the Atlantic. If any of them look like they've got better odds of forming, we will be the first to let you know. In the meantime, though, that Saharan dust is going to continue to push farther to the west as more of it rolls off of Africa as well. Right now, it's in the Lesser Antilles, but it's going to push farther to the north and west, potentially just clipping the Sunshine State. We'll be keeping a close eye on this as we head into Sunday and Monday. Miami likely seeing the highest odds of having some of this skim by. Tampa and Jacksonville not so much, as models continue to trend this a little bit farther to the south. After this would skim Florida, it would be propagating farther to the west, potentially bringing impacts to the shoreline of Texas, Louisiana, and perhaps the east coast of Mexico, but very minimal impacts at that. We're just talking about that haze in the sky that could slightly drop air quality. And additionally, we could even see some slight drops in rain chances as we head into the extended forecast. 2024 tropical tracks, you can notice one track in particular extending all the way from the middle of the Atlantic out toward the west coast of the Gulf of Mexico. That's Beryl. Alberto and Chris also making landfall here in the western Gulf, as all three of our first named storms made landfall. That is highly unusual. This all occurred mainly in the western Gulf, as Beryl made landfall actually 3 times during its trip. And as we look at this, I wanted to bring that up because I think a lot of the activity is actually going to be sliding away from the Gulf and potentially out into the western Atlantic and the central Atlantic as we head into August, when we start to see more of the climatology speaking that more and more of this is going to be moving up to the east, ramping up in activity, and in the darker shaded regions and even the pink shading you see there on your screen, that is typically where we see the most activity as we head into the brunt of August, with more and more activity ramping up toward the end of the month, and typically storms forming in August being a bit stronger than what we see at the start of the season. But for now, we are not tracking anything out there in the Atlantic. As things start to change, we'll keep you updated and up to speed right here at myfoxhurricane.com.